Hello and welcome back. Grab your drink and relax as we continue the story of Shweet the Mangled. What will he face this time? Time had no shape inside the fracture, no direction. It was not forward or back. It simply was. Shweet floated, neither whole nor shattered, adrift in the raw pulse of causality's core. Memories swam around him like steamfish through ether, unanchored from sequence. Grelm's voice, Mara's eyes, the sound of his own heart when he chose to destroy the Pax coil. None of it made sense anymore. All of it burned. A figure waited in the haze ahead. Not Grelm. Not Mara. Not anyone he remembered. It looked like him, except younger. Unscarred. Confident. No mangling. No battles fought. A version of himself that never had to choose the knife over the promise. You're the one who never broke. Shweet said. The other nodded. And you're the one who broke too many times to count. Shweet tried to reach for a weapon, but there was no weight, no belt, no coat, no gun. The fracture stripped everything away except identity. I came to seal you, Shweet said, to end this bleed between timelines. You can't, the other said. Not while you're still afraid to become me again. I don't want to become you. You already did, he said calmly. You just buried me under pain. Shweet's anger sparked like iron against flint. I made peace. The other smiled. You made excuses. That's not the same. Suddenly, the fracture contracted. The haze condensed into steel-lined corridors, flashes of a Varnholm that never rose. Buildings shattered by war machines. Gears devouring people. A sky full of fire. Children running from automated colors. Machines built to remove anomalies from the future. You see it now, the other Shweet whispered. This is what happens when the coil wakes on its own, when no one stops it. This world wasn't supposed to exist. No world ever is. Shweet ran, through alleys lined with rust and bones, past towers spewing black rain. Every turn brought more versions of himself, each wearing the consequences of different choices. Some wore crowns. Some wore chains. Some lay dead in gutters. He screamed. The fracture laughed. And then it all vanished. He was kneeling in a field. Green. Peaceful. Birds sang in a language you remembered from childhood. A woman approached. Her eyes were the color of old maps. Her name hung on the edge of his memory, like a note held too long. You came back, she said. I'm dreaming. No, she said, kneeling beside him. You're remembering. Shweet stared. I left this behind. But it never left you. She reached for his hand, and when she touched it, the mangling disappeared. His fingers were whole. No scars. No blood. Just warmth. I was supposed to save you. You still might, she said, but not by staying here. She pointed behind him. The world was fraying again. The fracture reopened, and through it came a scream. A real one, not a dream. Mara. Shweet stood. The green bled away. The sky cracked. The peace shattered. He ran. When he burst in the light, he was back in the cavern beneath Varnholm. Mara was on the ground, clutching her side, blood leaking through a torn cloak. Above her stood a man in golden armor, face obscured by a mirrored helm. You're late, Mara gasped. Shweet didn't answer. He grabbed the nearest chunk of debris and hurled it at the attacker. The impact knocked the golden figure back, and Shweet was on him before he hit the ground. Fists pounded metal. Sparks flew. But the golden man was fast, inhumanly fast. He kicked Shweet off and stood. The mirror helm hissed and slid open. It was him. Again, but older, calm, unshaken. I told you, the golden Shweet said. This doesn't end the way you want it to. Shweet rose, breathing hard. I'm not here to end it. I'm here to break the wheel. The golden version drew a blade shaped like a clock hand. Then come break it. They fought across the cavern. Dust fell from the ceiling with each blow. Shweet ducked a slice, countered with a rising elbow. The golden one flipped, landing beside Mara, who tried to crawl away. Shweet tackled him, dragging them both into the fracture's core. The pulse consumed them, and now they were fighting across timelines. One moment in a future war, missiles streaking overhead. Next in a flooded past, water up to their knees as ancient sirens wailed. Then across the ether sky, grappling on the hull of a crashing airship. Each world blinked in and out, each blow echoing across realities. "I'm what happens when you give up," the Golden One said. "I never gave up," Shweet roared. "You settled. That's worse." Finally, they crashed back into the cavern. Shweet's arm was broken. The Golden One bled from a mouth. Mara lay unconscious nearby, the heart pulsing dimly beside her. Shweet reached for it. "Don't," the Golden One said. "Touch it, and you'll finish what you started." "Good. You'll destroy everything." "No," Shweet whispered. "I'll make a choice." He closed his hand over the heart. Time screamed. The cavern shook. The heart shuddered, then stopped. Silence fell. When he opened his eyes, the golden version was gone. Mara was awake. The heart no longer pulsed. It was just a stone, inert and dull. "You killed it," she whispered. "No," he said. "I freed it." She looked at him, at the tears in his coat, the blood on his hands, the weariness in his eyes. "Who are you now?" she asked. "I'm Shweet," he said, "and I'm finally done being the Mangled." They rose together. Above them, the city of Varnholm ticked forward. Not perfect, not broken, just moving one breath at a time. Days passed, then weeks. Shweet stayed in Varnholm, though nothing felt the same. The heart was gone, the fracture sealed. But something deeper had changed, something in him. He no longer woke in cold sweat. He no longer looked for danger in every corner. The world was still rough, still rusted, still uncertain, but it was real now. Linear. Possible. Mara was recovering quickly. She'd taken up a post teaching at the Etherical Conservatory, secretly tutoring the few who could still hear the murmur of time beneath the noise of gears. They met weekly. Tea in the observatory. No talk of fate. Just silence, sometimes a laugh, sometimes a dream retold. And one day, she brought news. "There's something stirring in the Outmarch," she said, voice hesitant. "A rift, not a fracture like before, but different. It doesn't feel like time. It feels like memory." Shweet tensed. "Whose memory?" "We're not sure, but people are disappearing." He looked out across the rooftops of the city. The same wind that had once carried smoke now carried possibility. "I'll go," he said simply. She frowned. "You don't have to. You've done enough." He turned to her. "I didn't do it to rest. I did it so others could live. If something's threatening that, then I still have work." He left that same day. The Outmarch was wild country, where steam rails twisted into canyons, and rogue engineers built wonders from scrap and ruin. Airships drifted overhead like sharks, hunting salvage. The sky was clearer there and darker at night. He arrived in the village of Classmere just after sundown. The buildings were old wood and copper sheets, and the people eyed him with the caution of those who'd buried too many friends. He showed them nothing but patience. "I'm not here for trouble," he said, "just looking for the rift." An old man pointed him west. "It glows at night, fades by dawn. Took my son." That was enough. Shweet hiked through broken ridges and hollowed out reactors. He slept beside ruined tech and listened for the hum beneath the soil. On the third night, he found it, a wall of air shimmering like heat, but inside it were scenes, flickering images, a battlefield, a child, a girl with map-colored eyes, his own face. The rift was memory, but it wasn't his alone. It was every decision never made, every what-if never lived, a living archive of unchosen lives. And someone was inside it. He could see her now, Mara, but younger, trapped in one of the memories, screaming soundlessly. He stepped through. It was like drowning in thought. He fell through scenes, Mara as a child, Mara as a rebel, Mara dying again and again in places that never were. The rift fed on memory. It looped pain and potential like an engine eating itself. He reached her in a collapsed cathedral, the roof falling in loops. "You're not real," she said, backing away. "You always come too late." "I'm here now," he said. "But you weren't." "I am." She tried to fade, but he grabbed her hand. "No more loops. No more ghosts. Come back." The memory fought him. Beams collapsed. Fire roared. But Shweet didn't let go. They fell backward, out of the scene, out of the loop, and back into the cold grass of the Outmarch, gasping under the night sky. The rift pulsed once and vanished. Mara stared at him. You came. I always would have, he said. But you didn't. He nodded. Now I did. They walked back in silence, watching stars slide along the curve of the world. That night, Shweet wrote a letter. Not to be sent, just to be written. A letter to the version of himself who never broke. A version who never had to. He folded it, placed it in the wind, and let it go. The wind took the letter. It carried it past the fractured mountains and rusting satellite towers, into a horizon streaked by soft burning stars. Shweet stood a long while, watching until the slip of paper was no longer a letter, but just a piece of sky, flickering between forgotten futures. The next morning, he returned to Classmere. The villagers greeted him not with applause, but with quiet nods and shared bread. That was how trust was given here. Not in grand gestures, but in warmth and substance. He took the bread, thanked them softly, and went to the rail station. There were other reports, other signs. On the way, he passed the inn's main hall, where a half-assembled ether map hung like a chandelier over the dining tables. It was cracked in 3 places. A boy no older than 10 stood beneath it, tried to connect one glowing gear to another. You've got the wrong peg, Shweet said, kneeling beside him. The boy blinked. But the chart says it goes here. Maybe it used to, Shweet said, rotating the gear slightly. But sometimes maps lie, especially when the world starts changing faster than the cartographers can follow. The gear clicked. A new line of light spread across the map, forming a route to a city no one had heard of yet. The boy gasped. Thanks, mister. Keep drawing, Shweet said with a faint grin. The old ones can't keep up forever. He left before anyone else saw him smile. The rail car that pulled into the station was ancient, steam-powered with brass pistons, lined with moss in some places. But it worked. He boarded alone, ticket handwritten in calligraphy and blessed with a glyph of unjamming. The train hissed and chugged eastward, deeper into the borderlands where past and future didn't always agree on what day it was. Halfway through the ride, the world changed again. The train slowed unexpectedly. Outside, the landscape had become unfamiliar. Black trees with leaves like mirrors and ridges that pulsed faintly like breathing lungs. Something shimmered over the horizon, a shape not quite a city, not quite machine, like something the world hadn't finished dreaming into being. The conductor knocked gently on his compartment door. You're the one they sent? He asked. I wasn't sent, Shweet replied. I chose to come. The conductor nodded, removing a cap to reveal gears embedded in his skull, whirring quietly. They're waiting for you at the vault of Echo Glass, he said. End of the line, but no further. Why not? Because that place remembers everything, even things you've made peace with. Shweet stepped off the train under a silent sky. The earth beneath him didn't feel solid. It felt cautious, as if waiting to decide what shape it should become. The vault of Echo Glass was a cathedral of crystalline plates, each one reflecting not his face, but scenes of his life, moments he remembered. Some he didn't, some he wished he had. The doors opened not with a push, but a breath, and inside, waiting, was a council of 3. They wore no crowns. They bore no weapons. They simply knew. Timelines shimmered around them like scarves. Shweet, the one in the center said. Breaker of the first fracture. Killer of the heart coil. Wielder of possibility. Why have you come? He stepped forward. Because I know what I've done, and I know it's not over. No, the leftmost figure said. It never is. The rightmost leaned forward. But we can offer you an ending, one true conclusion. No loops, no echoes. Shweet tilted his head. What's the price? Letting go, the center answered. Truly this time. He looked past them to a mirror behind the dais. In it he saw himself, older, tired, smiling faintly beside a younger man learning to fight. A student? A son? It was unclear, but the peace in that reflection was undeniable. He turned back. What do I have to do? The center extended a hand, and a shard of glass floated toward him, shaped like a dagger, but pulsing like a memory. Place this in your heart. It will cut the threads you still carry. Free you. Shweet took it, held it over his chest, but his hand didn't move. I can't, he said finally. The three said nothing. He continued, because there are still people out there who remember. People who still need someone who can carry the scars and not flinch. Someone who knows where the lines blur. He lowered the shard. Maybe someday I'll earn peace. But not today. And he turned his back on the ending. Thank you for watching and listening to the story. You have earned a free drink at the Tavern Traveler. Be sure to leave a like and comment what you want most in life. That way Shweet might hear it and send you gifts. Have a great day, and until next time.